Welcome to another Telltale Books video. I'm Greg. I'm going to talk about the next in my series of Hugo Award finalists for this year, and that is Lake of Souls by Leckie. And by my list, Lake of Souls is Leckie's 31st published work. The only place that I know of to get a hold of this story is in her collection, Lake of Souls, the collected short fiction of Leckie, which so far I've read the novelette Lake of Souls, and because it was really short, I read the next story after that that's titled Footprints, which is a very early work by Leckie. The stories in here kind of cover her whole career. It's a really nice overview of all that she's done, I think. But I haven't read the whole thing yet. I've only read these two stories, and I'm only going to talk in this video about the one, Lake of Souls, which, like I say, the collection is titled for this story. I'm not aware of it being published anywhere else at this time. But I think, I went in and bought the book. Yeah, hardcover is kind of expensive. I believe you can get trade paperback. Of course, you can get an ebook, so you can reduce your cost by getting it that way. I'm thinking it's worth it based on this story, and I'll tell you why. The book was published, the book and the story were published in April of 2024, so a little over a year ago. It is a novelette, and it's basically a kind of first contact, although the aliens in this story, human beings are aware of them. They're just not aware that they're intelligent. One of the crew members on this expedition ship, it's in orbit about the planet at the start of the story, he goes nuts. He kills everybody on the ship except someone that's still in cryosleep. She's a scientist, I believe, an anthropologist, and she was left in cryosleep. She was not woken up because they don't bother until they know that they need someone. And so the Earth people, this guy goes crazy and kills all the other members of the crew and goes down to the planet and takes the only communication device with him. So for some reason, the anthropologist wakes up in the spaceship, figures out what's gone on, figures out she needs to go down to the planet in order to retrieve the device that she can call for help with. So she does. So she's kind of stranded in this situation. She's down on the planet. She's searching for both the device and, of course, the guy. He'll have the device. And she's seeing these aliens, this one in particular that starts following her, even though she tells it to go away. I'm going to stop there. It's worth reading. It's really worth reading. This is an excellent story. I don't think I'm going to give it a top tail, but definitely worth being a Hugo finalist. Deserves to be in the finalists. It is that good. Story is well written. The characters well told. The situation is interesting, and the alien and the world the alien lives on is very imaginative, very cool. And for the alien in particular, because the story switches point of views from the Earth anthropologist to the alien, back to the Earth anthropologist, back to it kind of switches back and forth that point of view throughout the story, which is kind of interesting because, well, it forces the writer to have to get into the mind of the alien and tell things from a truly alien standpoint. And that means she has to build the whole culture that this alien lives in order to tell this story properly. And I'm sure there could be a whole lot more detail to what she did, but for a novelette length work, she did an amazing job at coming up with something that does feel pretty alien. I know it's really hard for us because we only think the way human beings think. It's hard for us to think in non-human terms. That's always been the bane of the existence of every science fiction writer. Some science fiction writers have had some really great successes. I think Leckie joins the ranks of those who came up with a fairly alien. Anyway, from the alien's point of view, the story is like a coming of age story, growing up story, which makes it a really interesting story. It's good. I was previously thinking Loneliness Universe was going to be the best of all the novelettes. I think Loneliness Universe takes a backseat to this one, but this one wasn't Nebula nominated, so Loneliness Universe is still my choice for the best novelette for the Nebula Award. But Lake of Souls is now my choice for best novelette in the Hugo Awards. So I'm going to be hoping for that one, pulling for that one. I haven't read anything by Leckie before. Ancillary Justice is her most famous work, and that one, I believe, was an award winner. So yes, if you haven't read Lake of Souls, I would say find some way to read it. Like I say, find some way to read it. I think it's only available in this book. I may be mistaken, but I think this book is worth getting after reading it. If the other fiction is nearly as good as this, it's definitely worth reading the whole book. So have you read Lake of Souls? Do you agree with me that it really does belong in a Hugo finalist list? Or do you disagree with me? Leave your comments in the comment section. I really do want to hear them, no matter what they are. I mean, as far as no matter what your opinion of the story, anything that has nothing to do with Lake of Souls and Leckie, no, I don't need your comment. But if you have comments on the story or the author, I would love to hear them. Anyway, I also went ahead and read Footprints, which is the second story in Lake of Souls. Lake of Souls is the first, reading front to back. Footprints is the second. It's a very early story for Leckie, published in 2009. I'm going to do a short video talking about that one also, because it was an extremely short story, so I went ahead and read it. And I pretty much do a video on every story I read these days. Might be overkill, and maybe maybe there's one of you out there that really wants to know. So I do it. So that'll be coming up. And if you come back and join me, hit the like and hit the subscribe and keep watching my videos. You're going to at least see Footprints, but I expect you'll be seeing a lot more from me and Leckie in the future, because I was impressed by this one and I want to check out more. So I hope you'll be seeing me in the next video.